Workflow Secrets, the company name of that we've got, kind of was a play on, things that people need to learn, these secrets in their business about workflows in general. Workflows, are common amongst lots of different applications, lots of different processes and stuff, and everything that you do, is built as a workflow process. Our secret, the secret of workflows, really comes down to breaking it down like, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? We've talked about that before. And the secret part of a workflow is the fact that you can break it down into smaller routines. So each date that you deal with, each thing that you deal with within a person, a property, a listing, a transaction, a project, these are all specific dates of things that will trigger based off of that date getting filled in. And it's just a moment in time, but we register that moment in time through those important dates. By having those important dates defined, we can have it trigger that routine anytime that date is filled in the database. So in this particular case here, just to show an example, is as soon as the photography date gets filled in, and in this case, if the listing price is greater than or equal to 400,000, then this routine kicks in place. And that was kind of the secret of everything, is how do you build lots of process in your company, and as you're building that process, still be able to maintain it. Because there's been so many people that I've seen over the years through multiple companies that I've dealt with, where they create these massive action plans and workflow processes, but the maintaining them over time becomes a real challenge. So by breaking them down by their individual date, if I know that something that I want to do with the photographer needs to get done, then I can just come in and do a search for photography, and boom, there it is. And then I can make whatever change that I want to my routine whenever I'm dealing with this process right here. And maybe I have different processes, different routines for different things that I do with photography date, but they're based off of different conditions. So the conditions can kick in there as well. Well, people were saying, well, you're talking about routines all the time. Why do you talk about work? Why is your name Workflow Secrets? And that's kind of it. It's just the routine is the secret. But we didn't really apply that well within this screen. We didn't really represent that well in showing how do routines tie into workflows. So the big announcement part of this is this. We now have the ability to say any particular routine that you've got can be assigned to a workflow. So not only can it be assigned to a tag, we added tags last week or week before last, but you can also assign it to a given workflow. So you might have different workflows, and maybe I've got a kitchen remodel workflow, and all the different routines that deal with kitchen remodel would be in that kitchen remodel workflow. But how do you view that? You've got all these routines over there. Well, you could go in there and tag them. That's one way of doing it. But what we've done is taken it one step further and said, well, let's show it differently in the list. So right now, there's a new button over here in the upper left corner for the view that you're looking at. Do I want to look at it through this routine view where I'm just looking at individual routines? Are they automatic or are they manual? And then anything that I'm searching in there will limit what I'm seeing as well. Or do I want to see my routines in a workflow view? And I'm going to actually remove the search thing. in which case now I can see a given workflow and all the routines that are tied to that workflow. So that ties them together in a much more visual way. You can see where each of those individual routines now play a part in a much bigger workflow process. Now, some of the things that we've done is we've gone through and said, well, maybe I'm just wanting to work on one particular routine or one particular workflow. Maybe now, some of you guys, a lot of you guys don't have this. I've got a separate section here for projects, for like build construction types of things. You could do the same thing for listing, for contract. So these are just filters for the different things. I'm going to go to one here called for transactions. And I can see here that I've got a contract to close workflow that's a transaction workflow. So you can use these in combination and say, show me just my transactional workflows that are in workflows that are in my transaction section. So in this case, I've got my contract to close. Inside of that is my each individual routine. So this routine is it checks the contract date. What happens whenever I get a contract date? And these are all the actions that I do whenever I get my contract date. What about scheduling the home inspection? From the contract date, actually, I would probably change this here to maybe inspection date or something like that. Some of these were built earlier that don't have exact date pieces in there, but basically you can identify different starting dates for your routines, and those starting dates start the different routine actions. But what this does then is this allows you to see each of the workflows, each of the routines that are part of that workflow, and now you've got it well organized. The other thing that's really cool is that each routine can be part of multiple workflows. So you might have a workflow that you use for maybe first-time home buyers, but there's a few of those routines that you might use for some other downsizing type of workflow. So you can still have different workflows be in different routines in different workflows. You just come in here and check which one that you want it in, and then you just once you've got it checked, then it's good to go. That's one actually that I've gotten rid of. But now you can now see where those routines are, and with inside the actual workflow itself. Now down here, we've got a section in here that says, well, these routines don't have any workflow assignment at all. So this could be a place where you could look and see, well, I want this particular routine part of my contract to close workflow. So I can just come here, select it, and then hit save, and then it would move that up. I'm actually not going to do that. I don't want to do that. But it would move it up into the routine and get it out of the unassigned section. So you can organize now all of your routines into separate workflows, one bite at a time. Does that make sense? If you're wanting to work on just a particular workflow, say for instance, I come here and I'm seeing several different workflows. Maybe I just want to work on my bathroom renovation plan. I can click on this label right here, and it basically eliminates everything else and says, okay, here's all the routines that you've got inside of that that particular workflow. And then if I want to go back, I can click on it again, and then it shows everything again. So this is just a quick way to filter and unfilter based off of a given workflow group. So that's how we organize now all of the routines that we've got into the different workflows themselves. That's the workflow secret. Now, next part of this. Couple months ago, we added this ability here to let Sam build it for you. And we would come in here and we would show you, we're going to create a blank routine. And in that blank routine, maybe, first time home buyer. I use that a lot. I don't know why I always use this, but it just kind of works that way. First time home buyer, lead nurture. And then I can choose the date field for, whatever, new lead date or whatever. I'm just going to grab a date. It doesn't really matter. In this case here, I was able to go up here and say, well, let Sam build it. And in this case, I could come in here and say, well, based off of the title of this, first time home buyer, we want to create a nurturing campaign tailored to first time home buyers. We're using AI to generate this description for you to build this routine. Okay. So we built this, and then we would say generate, and it would go out, and within just a matter of 3 to 4 minutes, it would build the routine for you. And then I said, I'm not sure how I can make it any easier for you. Well, I did. So instead of doing it routine by routine, now whenever you go up here to new routine, you can come down here to routine workflow. And in the routine workflow, you can choose what section that you want to do this in, contacts, properties, listings, transactions, whatever, projects. And based off of what you choose there, you give it a name of some sort that you want to create this workflow. What would be a good workflow for a transactional piece? Maybe it's bank-owned closing. I don't know. Since we were talking about bank-owned REO, something like that. So what we can do then is we can come here and Jose, you went through a class of everything that needs to go into doing that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Did they give you like a document of things that need to get done?
Yes.
Okay. So you could take that content, you could copy it, you could paste it into here as far as the overall objective of what this workflow is supposed to do, and paste it in. Now, you could paste it in and use it just like that. I'm going to use AI to take this topic and actually generate this for me. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to say bank-owned. Okay, develop a detailed workflow for managing bank-owned property closings, REO, including addressing property conditions, coordinating necessary repairs, scheduling inspections, negotiating offers, and it goes on and on. What I might want to do in here is something like be sure to use all rules and regulations for the state of Missouri, because I'm in Missouri. And then go in and analyze this. So it takes that information and then it starts thinking, okay, what do we need? Well, if you put in all your description of what you learned at your seminar and you put it into here, might be a size limitation depending on how much they gave you, but it goes through and then it starts identifying what do we need? Well, we need to address the property condition whenever we enter the thing, any kind of repairs, dealing with repair date requests. What it's doing is it's showing you each of the individual routine objectives that you would need in order to make a workflow work the way you want it to. So it goes through and it creates all these different routine pieces for you. You can go in and you can make changes to these. You can change the objective. If it's not quite the way you want it, put it in there. If you wanted to use some of the content to be more specific about what needs to get created or whatever, it would allow you to do that. Put that in there. And then once this is just an analysis of everything. This is creating your date fields. This is creating your objective. Just as if I had gone into the let Sam build it for one routine, it has now done that for all the routines for this particular workflow process. I can then come down here and say, create the workflow. Now, I don't know that we want to wait the whole time here, but what this does then is it goes through each of those routines. It builds the routine. It builds each step of the routine. It builds all the calculations. It builds the actions. It builds the templates, all the content. It builds the content in your voice. One thing that I probably should have done or could have done, Jose, is say, include this as Spanish. I didn't do that, but in the workflow, it could be done that way. And then all of the content then would be built and done for you. This process may take 20 minutes, something like that, to do. I don't want us to wait the entire time for this to go through that. What I will do, however, is I'll go ahead and just start a new Sam while it's doing that. And I'm going to come back over here to the routines. And I'm going to go back into my workflow view and just, showing you once it's done, then it creates each of these items inside the system for you. So, So what we're doing right now is previously I'd gone in there and said, give me a 10-year contact nurture. And it went through and it built each one of these to the system. An accelerated listing to contract series, built that. Give me my bathroom renovation plan, my contract to close. All of these are routines that were built into workflows through this new workflow builder. I'm not sure I can make it any easier than that. What do you guys think?
And we have to watch the video like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah. This is like game changer, guys. For many, or for 3 decades, this has been a process of going through and figuring out how do you do your business. And if you have some kind of SOPs, some standard operating procedure documents that you use, you could copy those right into that description and let it build the process for you. Is it going to be perfect? No, it won't be perfect, but it's going to give you such a good outline of what you currently do. And maybe all you have to do in there is change, a given date field. Maybe you wanted to use a different date field. Maybe you wanted the title to be a little bit different, or maybe you want the content of the messages to be just a little bit different. All of that can be changed once it's set up. That's not the problem. It's in most cases, most real estate agents that are trying to set up their systems, they don't know how to set up this part, even though they have maybe either in their head or they've got it on paper of some sort, the information written down. They don't know how to take that written down piece and put it into the system to make the system work for you. We've just made that instantaneous almost. I mean, 20 minutes, but compared to weeks or months, it's instantaneous. So let's just go back over here. It's still working through the process. What I'll do is once this is done, I'll probably make a little video on this and do a little follow-up after the fact for our office hours. But this is the big thing. And so on October 10th, next Friday, we are going to be going through this more step by step, going through why would you make certain changes? How do you make those changes and stuff through the process? It'll be specifically just for this routine process. Cody just put a link in the chat for you guys. You can sign up for this just to make sure you get reminders and everything. It's what we just went over, but we're going to go into it much more in depth, much more training just on this one piece. So any questions?
No, thank you.
Yeah. I think this is going to make a huge difference in your productivity in getting SAM up and running. We've been running co-pilots for a few months now, and this is the things that we've been going over, helping real estate agents set these things up. And now, not that Copilot isn't necessary. I mean, we actually do more things and spend less time at this and can get into more details of what you really need. But the grunt work of building routines into workflows has been solved. We can now do that and make that simple for you. So get in there, play around with it. If you see any problems, reach out. I'm not guaranteeing at this point that it's 100%, but what it's building right now is amazing, and it's using AI to drive everything that it's building. SAM is an AI agent, and because it knows how to build its own stuff, it knows how to take your sentences, your description, your objectives of what you want to do, and then it starts building that routine because it knows how it's set up to do. So it's self-aware in functionality. It's not extremely AGI yet, but it's definitely knows its stuff within the system. So however long that's been, 15, 20 minutes, it's going through the process. Again, the final product is built out. The overall skeleton of what you need for your entire workflow is there. And then it's just a matter of tweaking whatever little changes that you want to make, changing wording, verbiage, maybe making different date selections. Maybe you've got other dates that you want to use besides the ones that were chosen or created, because it will actually even create dates for you. If they don't exist, it can create the dates to be used. So it's just a matter of going in there, identifying, and then the hardest part is just kind of reviewing it, making sure it looks the way you want it to look, does the things that you want it to do. And if it doesn't, then make some additional changes to it, and then your systems are then in place. And it's not a matter of perfection. So many agents that I have talked to over the years have tried to create, I don't want to do this until it's just right. Man, just get it out there. Get the thing working for you. And what I have taught in the past is the framework of design, build, run, repeat. Design it, which is kind of the standard operating procedures. Build it, which now is the pasting it in and letting SAM build it for you. Run it just means run the routines, let it do its thing, run it through a few people. And then at the end of each process, whenever everything's said and done, that you can go through and see what you would have changed and then make those changes. That's the run and repeat. Repeat it, do it again. And you're going through and fine tuning it as you're doing it. So, here's the thing, access the property condition, schedule initial inspection, align on the action plan, review the state regulations, conduct property inspection, prepare the report, draft communication. Is this the way you were taught? If not, whatever needs to be in there would be put in there based off of what you had put in the description. This is the description that was given based off of AI's interpretation of what I said. But by putting in the actual stuff, it would go in and it would create that for you. You'll see that it, created the actions, the calculations, the actions, so many things that you would have to do typically on your own. Now it does it for you.